Hi, everyone. So I am back at school today, and I'm hoping to see a bunch of you here tomorrow. And I just wanted to talk about Roundtable cover letters because that's what we'll be doing in class today. And I think since none of you have done a Roundtable before, we need a little bit more information before we can do this. So this is the asynchronous work for today, Tuesday, 4/27. And you'll just watch this video and then answer some questions. It's not about science content, it's just about what we'll be doing in class today. So it's pretty straightforward. All right, so first off, I want to review what roundtables are because I know we all have different amounts of information about what they are. And also, they'll be a little bit new to me this year as well because we'll be doing them online instead of in person like I've usually done them. So during roundtables, you have an opportunity to show your work to your family and teachers, and usually some community members too. We do roundtables to celebrate the hard work that you've done all year and also to just see what you've learned about. So you'll show at least 3 pieces of work from 3 different classes. For most of you, that means that you will have to talk about the science artifact. So you have some choices about which ones you'll talk about, but because you have to have 3 different classes, you have to have one from science class. And then after you've shown the pieces of work to your family, teachers, community members, you'll answer some questions about those pieces of work to show what you've learned. So for example, you'll show your science artifact, and we'll all have the same science artifact. It's that lab report. And then the teachers and the community members and your family members in the room, or I guess in the Zoom in this case, will ask you some questions to see what you've learned about that. All right, so we are going to have plenty of time to practice for the roundtables before they happen. So we'll do that closer to the end of the year, kind of right before roundtables. We'll do a bunch of practice around the questions, how to answer well, how to do those presentations. So don't stress about that part yet. We have plenty of time to practice that. For now, for today, we just need to write our cover letters. That's just so we have everything done in advance. So almost all of you have already submitted a really good artifact, and those have been graded. Those were from last quarter, remember? And now we all just need to write a cover letter because that's another requirement for these roundtables. So the question is, what are roundtables cover letters? So you have 5 pieces of work in your portfolio, and for each piece of work, you have to write a cover letter to introduce it. The point of the cover letter is just to describe the work so that your family and the people in your meeting know what your work is about. So the roundtable cover letter kind of introduces the artifact from each of your classes. So in the science cover letter, the science artifact, remember, is that lab report about thermal conductivity. I'll make sure to put that at the top of Google Classroom today so you can find it easily. This is not the science fair. I know we worked on a couple of big projects lately, so I just want to remind you which ones are which. The science fair was something that you, like a topic that you decided on for yourself and then made a video about. The roundtable artifact is the one that all of us did the same thing. It was that experiment. Some of you did an experiment, some of you watched the videos of me doing the experiment about thermal conductivity and which container would be best to keep a drink hot or cold. So that's your science artifact. Most of you already have that done and done really well, so you don't need to worry about improving that. And then today we're just working on writing the cover letter. So you will describe that experiment, and that might mean that you should read through your lab report again. You can say what you're proud of, so if you got a really good grade on it, or if you, some of you had to do the experiment twice, and that's something that you should be proud of. If you kind of improved upon your experiment over a couple of times, that's a really good science quality. So that's something to be proud of. There's any number of things that you could be proud of on your lab report or during the experiment. You can talk about any of that. And then write about one thing that you could have done better. This can be a small thing. If you got a really good grade on this report, there's probably not a ton that you could have really done better. But there's always something that you can find. Maybe you could say that you would do further experiments or something like that. Or if you're not pleased with your initial grade, maybe you could talk about what you would do to make that better. All right, so that's the overall view of what roundtables are and what the cover letters are for. So you are going to answer some questions in our usual Google form about this stuff. And then in class today, you all will have plenty of time to write up your science cover letter. So this will be due at the end of today, this cover letter. And don't get that started early because I'm going to give you a format to use in class. You'll have a document and everything. So wait till class. We will work on this together. So just make sure to get the questions done. And I will see you soon.